I'm working on the CSI Rombold's Moor project, which is part of the Watershed Landscape project. And what we're doing on the CSI project is recording all the prehistoric carved rocks that appear on Rombold's Moor.
I'm Sarah Duffy. I am at the University of York right now finishing my PhD. I'm specialising in the use of digital recording techniques in relationship to archaeological resources. I am here to trial a technique called reflectance transformation imaging that is particularly useful in picking up surface relief. And I've been called out to record the rock art on Ilkley in the hopes that we'll be able to pick up features of the stone and the carvings that haven't been picked up previously with other recording techniques. And we'll be all right. Head down.
It's a good trial of the technique to see if there's one that doesn't have particularly faded carvings, to see if the technique does help to show any additional motifs.
The recording technique is based on reflectance information, and that's captured in reflective targets that you include in the capture sequence. You're trying to create, with the light source, a virtual light dome around the subject that you're recording. You're using oblique angles of lighting as you go around. Later in the processing sequence, the software is able to pick out that reflectance point and the target in each of the photographs, and is able to then calculate the angle of the light source.
These carved rocks are thought to belong to the Neolithic, early Bronze Age period. So that's roughly anything from about 6,000 years ago up until about 1750 BC. And what we find on this stone is that there's various cut marks, which are indentations on the stone, and they're surrounded by rings that have been carved by stone tools or antlers sometime during that period I've just mentioned. These carvings are the earliest mark that man has put on the landscape, and nobody really knows why they were actually carved, but there are all sorts of weird and wonderful theories why they've actually been carved. So when I hold this string, do you want me to hold it to that?
Yeah, the center,
that point there?
We're just using the string to know how far to separate the light source away from the subject we're recording, because you want to get a constant distance around the object in order to create the virtual dome. You'll go around it systematically as if you were looking at it like a clock. That's how I approach it. And you have spokes around your clock, and then you come up the spokes a certain angle between, I usually try to go between about 15 degrees and 65. You don't ever want to be directly above the subject.
No, that line of spot, was it going across there?
Yes.
Right. Just go back
Sure.
to where you were.
Yeah.
Now,
Do you see another one?
Can you see that one there? That's two rings.
Yeah, I do see that.
We've got two rings there where we can see a line that's shown up in the oblique lighting, that those rings are sitting on that line, and it's whether that is part of the actual design when the prehistoric man was looking at this stone. Is it deliberate, or is it completely natural? And it may suggest, because we've got another one going that way, that they've looked at the stone in minute detail and actually placed it because of that small ridge and lined the cup and the rings up along it. We're now at Woodhouse Crag on Ilkley Moor, and we've come to the swastika stone. And this is possibly a later carving, something that it may have actually maybe more Iron Age than Neolithic or Bronze Age. So we're going to practice the same technique here just to see what we can see on the stone. To north to south and west to east. Ready to rumble?
You ready?
Yep.
Alright, shoot. Shoot.
What we do see with PTM is when you're able to move the light around, which you can on the end model, that more things do actually jump out of you than you would see on a single still. And that's the beauty of this technique. It just shows up the minute scratches that are on the stones.